Ken come up and Don, whatever you guys got planned?
Still sipping on it. Yeah, I did.
I see he's pulled the top off that, Jack. You couldn't get but a drop or two out of that last night when I was trying to get something, and I really needed it. I'd like to say something tonight. It's a blessing to be able to come. Yesterday evening, I don't know, for some reason, Linda and I both were just give out, seemed like, and she started getting ready to come to church at 4 o'clock. She was just go a while and come in and sit down and rest, and she said, I am just give out, and I was too, and for some reason, it just seemed like we just, boy, I don't know if we're going to make it or not. But, you know, we come over here and got home at 10 o'clock last night. And, Brother Jack, I love it when the Lord does things like this. You're just so tired and weary, you say, I'd just soon go to bed than to go. But when you put forth the effort to come and take part and start listening to the song and enjoying the service and got back home, and I wasn't nearly as tired then as I was before we ever started getting ready to come. So I just thank God that when you put forth an effort, He'll bless you for it, regardless of what it is.
Amen. I'm kind of like Joe. The longer I sit, the sweatier my hand gets. I've been wiping and wiping. I've got a terribly warped sense of humor. I don't make any bones about it. And I can get tickled at the funniest things at the wrong time. I've done that all my life. And when Donna said that this church asked her if they would come and what would they charge, there was a time, went back to when we went to singing, and the Daniels brothers, and it just hit my mind just like that. And I know, Jack, you and can identify with this. But we went quite a ways, and we got there, and I was just carrying the guitar in the door, and the guy was right there in the door. And he said, how many are there of you? And I said, 3. And so he walked away, and by the time I set the guitar down and come back, he handed me a check, and he said, well, here's your pay. And I said, okay, and I put it in my pocket. And so they got up in the church, and they said, I got to tell you this, because these guys can probably identify with this. And they said that we've got the Daniels brothers here. We've never heard them before. They've been recommended to us, and they're going to do our singing today. And also, this is homecoming day. And we've got the oldest pastor that pastored here. His name is Brother Smoot, and Brother Smoot's going to bring the message. And so Brother Smoot got up and read the 23rd Psalm and sat down. And that was it. And he read that pretty fast. And I said, that was a pretty short message. You know, he just got up and just politely read the 23rd Psalm and took his Bible and walked over and sat down. Well, we got up and we introduced ourselves and we started singing, and the Lord blessed. I'm telling you, we had a wonderful time. They had a big crowd. They had their thing on the wall, you know, about their offerings and everything. And they were a prosperous church. It was pretty obvious, you know, their offerings were really up there. And so we sang for about 2 hours, and people got up and testified and just everything, you know. And this one lady got up and said, I want you to know that this group has brought back changed my whole theory about singing groups. They've reinforced my faith in singing groups again just today. And we just got all kind of accolades. And when we left there, we had to go eat and get some gas, and I got the check out, and it was for $45. That was $15 a piece. We figured that's where they come up with it. You know, there's 3 of you. And so by the time we got through eating and put gas in, we had to dig into our own billfolds to help pay for the day. You guys can identify that, can't you, Ron? And I don't know which one in the car said it, but somebody said, I'll tell you one thing. Old Smoot read his check before he preached. Smoot, when they said, well, next time we go, we'll look at our check. before we sing. But they said Brother Smoot looked at his check before he preached. He gave him $15 for it. And I said, well, one thing about it, if we ever go back again, we'll take a dozen guys with us to help us carry that in. I just had to tell you that come on my mind when she asked how much would you charge. We never did charge anything, but the Lord would. Sometimes things would be thin, and sometimes it just poured on you, just to really blow your mind. But the Lord always took care of us. I'll probably wear this song out on you. This is my most favorite song on the guitar, and I know it was made as a country hit and everything, but I really get a spiritual blessing out of this. I think it has a spiritual connotation to it. And I'm going to ask Dawn to back me up on it again tonight and try to do for you one more time, Love Me. Ready, babe? Yeah. I read a note my grandma wrote back in 1923. Grandpa kept it in his coat and showed it once to me. He said, boy, you might not understand, but a long, long time ago, Grandma's daddy didn't like me none, and I loved your grandma so. We had this crazy plan to meet and run away together, get married in the first town we came to, and live forever. Nailed to the tree where we were supposed to meet instead, I found this letter, boy, and this is what it said. If you get there before I do, don't give up on me. Meet you when my chores are through. I don't know how long I'll be, but I'm not gonna let you down. Darling, wait and see. But between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me. I heard these words an hour before my grandma passed away, in the doorway of a church where me and Grandpa stopped to pray. You know, I'd never seen him cry in all my 15 years. But as he said these words to her, his eyes filled up with tears. If you get there before I do, don't give up on me. I'll meet you when my chores are through. I don't know how long I'll be, but I'm not gonna let you down. Darling, wait and see. But between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me. And between now and then, till I see you again, I'll be loving you. Love me. know that song's already come and gone on the radio, but I've never gotten tired of it. It took me so long to learn it, and I really learned it just for my own benefit. I just wanted to sit around and sing it. I never expected to sing it publicly, but it so blessed my heart that I said, by golly, if I can get the nerve, I'm going to do it. When Lon got up here a while ago and said he's going to do a song by Stuart Hamlin, I'm an old Stuart Hamlin fan myself, really, and his songs I really like. And I thought, well, he may have a song that I'm going to sing. If he does, I'll have to try to come up with something else. But I really enjoyed that, Lon, and I enjoy How Big Is God. I still remember the first time that I flew when we went down to Bradenton, Florida, when the church down there where the Claytons are at asked us if we would come down and spend a weekend with them. And Don and I had never flown, and Brother Joe and some others from the church down at Carrier Mills had went to the Holy Land, so they had flown. So when they asked us if we would come down, if they would send us the tickets, why, we said, well, sure. And we never dreamed, Don and I never dreamed they were serious, to tell you the truth. And the next thing we know, Joe said, we've got the tickets and time to leave and everything. Okay. And we went to Evansville to leave, and it was a real dreary day, real overcast and everything. And Joe said, well, this will all change when we go through the clouds. And we left the ground there, and Don wanted a parachute, but we couldn't find one for him. And but I still remember when we burst through the clouds, and I said, wow. I was just overwhelmed. And the first thing that came into my mind, Jack, I thought, boy, I'll tell you what, if somebody done this, came off the ground and came up here through these clouds for the first time, and I'd always heard about singing about the azure blue. And I thought, this must be the azure blue. And I thought anybody that could come up here for the first time and see this and not be able to tell and realize in their heart that this is God's handiwork, oh, I sure feel sorry for them. How could they even enjoy it? I thought, my gosh, how big is God? It was just so beautiful, it just took your breath away. And I'll tell you one more little thing. They give us a continental breakfast, and where we were sitting at, Don and I were sitting in two seats just a little off to the right and to the front of Joe, and he was sitting back a couple seats behind us on the other aisle. And they brought us some coffee and orange juice and a couple of rolls. And Joe confided in us yesterday. He said, I'll tell you what, I know that's the first time you guys flew, and I knew you were very anxious, but he said that was the biggest blessing I've ever seen 2 little rolls get in my whole life. And we got down there, and we was praying that night, and Don said, I was thanking the Lord for getting us down there safely and getting us on the ground. And he said, all of a sudden the thought got to me, my God, we've still got to go back. But we had a layover in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. We had a layover in Atlanta, Georgia, and I think the guy that landed us there this was his first trip. And we had moved, they got to where we could move around a little bit on the plane, and I sat in front of Don. And when we come down there in Georgia, we come down first time, and we hit on the left wheel, and then bounced down on the right wheel, and then bounced up again, and it actually jarred our teeth out. And I was just hanging on, and I was sitting in front of Don, and I heard Don go, my God, just like that. And he thought, I hope we don't get that same pilot going back. I don't really was too keen on this. So many things down here in this life that are just so big to us, and I have to confess that I'm the same way. There's things that get me down and just pull me down, and I can't see any way around them. And sometimes I get too anxious for them to get out of my way, and I pray about them, and sometimes even give up on them, and the Lord will remove them. And every time he does, he chastises me and says, you couldn't wait on me, could you? And I said, no, sir, I jumped the gun again. But I like this old Stuart Hamlin song here, and I told Don, I said, help me, just give me a little bass on this, and we'll try this one here. Until then. My heart can sing when I pause to remember a heartache here is but a step Until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. The things of earth, they'll dim and lose their value if we recall they're just borrowed for a while. And things of earth that cause this heart to tremble, remember that they'll only bring a smile. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. Until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Good job. Good job.
Let me say something there. I'm going to finish off what Kenny was talking about a while ago. He kept saying, you know, boy, look at this, Don. And I did try to find a parachute, but there isn't any that I know of. But anyway, when we got going, he kept saying, boy, isn't this amazing? Isn't this amazing? I just can't get over it. Isn't this amazing? And all of a sudden we got into some, I mean, just, I couldn't even see the wing outside. And that plane started doing this, and I looked over at him and I said, not so amazing now, is it, buddy?
I'm a firm believer, lo, I'll be with you always. I'm glad I can walk on the ground. It's beautiful up there, but it's so much more beautiful when you got 2 feet on the ground.
Like God said it, I'm not afraid of flying, I'm afraid of crashing.
That's right. It's not the thing that when you start dropping, it's not too bad, but the crash would be bad. All right.
One lady says she's seen how they done it. There's a little green light on that and a red light over here on that, but it just fly between them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. How true. All right. Well, we've had a lot of singing the last couple nights, and we've enjoyed it. And each time we come in, we get just a new blessing from a song that's sung. And new things happen in our life, and we just thank God for that. As we close our service tonight, we surely want to remember our choir practice.